Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on your way in, right? And I told you guys I would come in with a part two. And look, Mr. Z's actually doing a part two, like he never actually does. Hopefully, you guys can hear me when I go out. Did you guys hear me when I just said that? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so I am doing a part two, like I said I would, and I'm actually doing it, right? So let's hopefully you guys can hear me. Right, let me get out of this parking spot and then look back because I have to read something to you guys. Because after further listening in, um, yeah, Paris Milan engaged in respectability. She pulled the "you black men can't even die right" type of thing. She didn't say those exact words, but that was the sentiment, right? She did the "y'all don't even be having life insurance and your poor black mothers got to pay for it. Y'all not tired of the fish, the what is it called? The fish fry and all of that. So yeah, Paris engaged in you. Uh, like I said, just because they're not using the exact same words, the sentiment is the same. So she engaged in "you black men can't even die right" type of rhetoric, right? She didn't use those words, but if you say, "Well, y'all don't even be having life insurance, and your poor black mothers gotta go ask for GoFundmes, and they gotta do fish fries," yeah. Translation: you black men can't even die right, right? Right? She did the guilty till proven innocent thing. What do you mean, Mr. Z? Assume assume these black men are colorist until proven otherwise. Don't just be marching and protesting and advocating for these men until they're properly vetted, unless they're your personal relatives or family members. Yeah, this is coming out of Paris Milan's mouth, everyone. Who Rolling Stone wanted to speak to. This woman, right? Paris Paris Milan out here, a married black woman who's supposedly married to a black man, sounding like this about black men. By the way, we're one big Negro to her. Black men are just one big Negro. Mr. Z makes sure to say some black women, these divestors, these swirlers, the black women. Mr. Z makes sure to say that. Not Paris, black men, right? She does the black men thing, right? She mentions Lawrence Smith Fields and how Lawrence Smith Fields didn't say anything negative about black men, but black men were dancing on her grave when she passed because she was dating white men. Lawrence Smithfield said on social media, y'all remember Lawrence Smithfield? What did she say? If you see me with a white man, just know I tried with you Negroes or you nigs or whatever she said. Something like that, right? Huh. We're engaging in respectability now. What else does Paris say? Right? Paris goes in on the brother Tyree Nichols by saying, look, he said this on social media. So sometime in his past, he was going back and forth with someone. Someone called him stupid. And so he said, you called me stupid. Um, don't let me, or something like that. Don't let me I'm a sick a pedo and a grapist on you, or something like that, right? Just talking reckless. And so Paris is engaging with, and excuse me, Paris is engaging in respectability by saying, well, see, this is why we shouldn't, see, we wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. This is Paris. You're dancing on a man's grave right now. You're trying to pull respectability and you dancing on a man's grave right now. Paris, like I said, Paris is an elitist asshole. Y'all don't even have life insurance. Y'all don't even have y'all money to. Translation: you Negroes can't even die right. She goes on to bring up the brother Toby. I think his last name was Abawali or something like that. She brings up Toby. She brings up Clark, what's his name? That also was that's from that, I think that Sacramento area also, that was killed by the cops a couple of a year ago or a couple years ago. She brings them up to pretty much say this is these black men. You see, once again, you're just one big dumb Negro. And we just gonna keep Paris Milan is just gonna keep on being allowed to speak like this, right? This is not advocating for black women. Now it might be being a voice for some black women, let's be honest, but she ain't advocating for black women on this one. She's dancing on a black man's grave. She's justifying why black women should do. It's interesting. Okay, let's because this is how. Oh man, I'm really trying not to insult this woman's intelligence. Okay, it's hard. Ooh, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard because I doubt she even know what atomization is. Okay, this doesn't even work for black women. You let's just continue to go her airhead. I'm trying. Y'all. I'm trying. This doesn't even work for black women. Not advocating for black bodies just because they're black bodies and putting a respectability threshold on it doesn't even work for black women. They're killing you because you're black. They're targeting you because you're black. They don't check your social media and say, "Ooh, look, he said he made a colorist comment. It's okay to kill him." No, he's black. And that goes for black men and black women who are also part of the state that have anti-black sentiments themselves. It's the black bodies this society has an issue with. Before they find out how educated you are, before they find out whether you made a sexist comment against black men or black women, before they find out whether you're colorist, before they find out who your spouse is. Even if you have a white spouse, a Latina spouse, a Latino spouse, an Asian spouse. It's the black body. So this doesn't even work for black women. Breonna Taylor, anyone? Sandra Bland, anyone? But this artard is telling you, well, see, stand down. Y'all shouldn't be protesting for none of these black men until they're vetted. Translation: don't protest for none of these black men. Does this actually work for black women? You know, the black women that live in the same community with black men. Are you sure you're not an Asian, Paris? This is kind of Asian talk. This is agent talk. Like y'all have no concept of no macro understanding of anything. Y'all don't understand the societal ramifications, even for the people y'all claim to advocate for. Dumbass. Lawrence Smithfield passes, and Mr. Z don't tell nobody, hey, don't go protest for her, because I understand it's the black body. Asia Maynard, I understand it's the black body. Paris not even thinking that, and y'all subscribe to her at the tune of hundreds of thousands. Yeah, Stephen Clark. Thank you, brother. Stephen Clark. That's the other brother that was killed by the police, and I think it was the same Sacramento area, wasn't it? Or am I getting the area wrong? And thank you, Big Game, for that. Right? And yeah, he had problematic comments on social media. Do y'all really want to play the tit for tat game on, well, you said something problematic, well, can't say nothing about you now. Black, and once again, this is how black women run into the buzzsaw, because y'all swear y'all morally superior to everyone else. So you'll say something that end up biting you in the rear end. Paris herself. Well, you didn't see Lord Smithfield. I just read a comment from Lord Smithfield. Now what? Asia may not have problematic comments. Y'all really want to start playing that game? Y'all have no concept of anything bigger than my heart broken. I'm mad. This black man, this black woman made a colorist comment, a mean comment on social media. You're not paying attention to none of the evolution. Him beginning to sound more and more pro-black as he gets older. No, screw that. You dance on a man's grave for stuff that he said at what, 21, 22 years old. And this is what passes for advocating for black women? You're showing his mother's face in the tears on his mother's face. Look, your mom's dark skin? Yeah. So all the black women, dark-skinned black women, their fathers are not dark-skinned? When they make colorist comments, their fathers are not dark-skinned? Their fathers aren't black? This myopic, small worldview, it's retarded. And that's how you know this is what happens when people speak real reckless, right? Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks. This is what happens when people speak real reckless. Just to jump ahead of it, to justify why black women shouldn't support him. And you hide that behind respectability. It's the black body this society has a problem with. It's the black body. That's why it doesn't matter. Straight, gay, trans, black woman, black man. It's the black body this society has an issue with. It's the black mind this society has an issue with. It's black people. But you too busy trying to be petty and be an asshole for your bitter, angry subscribers. You not thinking that large. Or you are, and you don't care because you're about to make some money tonight of dancing on a black man's grave, which is even worse. Right? And you give me a second, Emerald Edge. It's going to take me a little minute before I can read that because I'm about to jump on the expressway. Right? These people are the worst. Right? You're so busy trying to be petty and mean and get all that rage porn clicks off. Get the super chats inspired by rage porn. You're so busy trying to do that that you're not even listening to yourself and what you're advocating for and what it actually means on the macro level for the masses of black women. Y'all keep on listening to this elitist asshole. Don't worry about it. Like I said, Paris is gonna sell out in the sunset, at least in the short term, with her husband, and maybe she'll have children one day. She might, shit, from what we know. Paris could be pregnant now. She just ain't telling y'all. Right? And Paris Milan gets to speak like this And black men in the black manosphere are told, no, 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 no. Y'all keep on going after these divestors and swirlers. They're little small channels and small fries. They're not that serious. It's not that serious. When are you going to let go of the misogyny, Mr. Z? These people channels doing numbers. Their videos doing numbers. They're making money. They're influencing the next generation, young teenagers and young women in their 20s, and we're supposed to act like this ain't that serious. Because we're hyper focused on people that's not that influential. Yeah. Because Paris isn't that influential, right? And I'm sorry, I know I went out for a little bit, probably. Hopefully you guys can hear me now, right? These people are the worst. Paris Milan gets to get away with dancing, continuously dancing on of black men. And her subscribers get off on it. All because she speaks as if she's just critiquing black men. All because she speaks as if she's being the voice for black women. She literally came out the mouth and said, the media ain't covering this. Why would the media cover what a young man said when he was 21 years old on social media? Just like how we say white media does that. Look, they're focusing on what this person said when they were young to discount their death. Paris Milan is engaging in that same activity right now. I'm not saying he deserves to die. Yeah, you are. Yes, actually, you are. Isn't it ironic? He speaks about promoting black women violence, and he dies so violently at the hands of other black men. Isn't it ironic? Translation. Isn't it funny? Why? Just because she didn't use those words, that's not what she was saying? What, am I not black? Was I not raised in the black community? Am I not black? Have I not been around black women? We know what she really meant. Look at what right? Y'all give me a second on the super chats. Give me a second. Give me a second, right? I can see the little green boxes popping up, right? Y'all give me a second. Get to them in like 2-3 minutes, right? She's dancing on these men's graves. Tyree Nichols in particular, she's dancing on his grave for something he said when he was 21, for him having a thing for white women. And he's in Sacramento. Like I said, black people are raised in an anti-black society. Black people have anti-blackness too, as exhibited by you, Miss Paris. Just because you couch it as critiquing black men doesn't mean you're not anti-black, Miss Paris. Just because you got a black husband. Right? Shout out to all you black women. Subscribe to her. Like I said, she's going to watch you fall off the cliff of loneliness and poverty and struggle and pick your wallet right before you fall off. She's going to grab your wallet right before you fall off the edge of the cliff. She's going to grab your wallet. She's doing it now. Right? She's doing it now. All the sass, all the pettiness. Right? Tyree and Paris around the same age. We could see him digging himself out of whatever he had going on when he was younger. Paris, on the other hand, not so much. And Paris is living good. That lets you know she's not a true believer. She's living good. Married, making her YouTube money. Her husband's probably somewhere in the STEM field of corporate America, somewhere in finance, maybe. She's living good. She's making money off of all of you single, bitter, angry black women, though. All of you sisters, oh, she making money off of you, though. Right? And Emerald Edge said, for a video you made that I can study. Thank you, Emerald Edge. And okay, and let's see who's next. And KW Don said, if it wasn't for black misandry, Paris would be up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, driving Uber. Bro, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And Paris, and Gender Warlord said he really said that and was serious. And we know the man was probably joking on social media, but these women ain't joking. They really dance. You say one thing, right? Mess around and play around on Instagram and say, where my light skin's at or something like that. I dare you. And you pass away at the hands of the state or some racist white person and watch them say, you see what he said? Now we could justify dancing on his grave. We wanted to do it anyway, right? We wanted to do it anyway, but now we could justify doing it. And Paris and other black women get to do that. And then pretend like all they're doing is critiquing black men, being the voice for black women. Yeah, for some black women. So you claim to care about black women while you dance on another black woman's son's grave. And you show her face and say, see, y'all don't even be having life insurance. And, elitist asshole much? You can't, y'all Negroes can't even die right. We're letting Paris Milan essentially say you Negroes can't even die right. So people were appalled when they saw that comment on social media a couple years ago. But Paris Milan is engaging in the same things. What? Because she didn't say those exact words? She said it. If she's talking about, oh, y'all don't be having life insurance and your mother gotta have a fish fry to pay for your death and start a GoFundMe. Translation, y'all can't even die right. That's what she's saying. Oh, and Gender Warlord says, I meant FD saying they were small channels. Yeah. Because Paris Milan isn't a hardcore card-carrying divester because she's married to a black man. She gets to get away with saying stuff like this. Do y'all understand how dangerous this woman is? Teenagers are listening to Paris, man. Teenage girls, black girls. The only reason she took down the post she made last year about the Ukrainian men standing up for their women is because white people started flaming her and she felt embarrassed looking like a dumbass in front of the world. That's the only reason she took that post down. Look, these men stand up for their women. And after she got summarily checked by white people, she took it down because they were calling her a dumbass. Even white women were telling her she don't know what she's talking about. So as long as she don't step in the wrong minefield of white people, She could just get away with talking reckless about black men? Come on now. Sexist, misandrous assholes. And we don't even know in her real life if she's even this person, or if she's just making money off of black women who actually feel like this. She might not even be a true believer. She just might be peddling this for the money, and that's so sick. That's sick. That's sociopath behavior, literally. And she gets to do that. Why? Because she just couches as speaking up for other black women, critiquing black men. And yeah, like the brother said, and Paris and FD gets to speak like, oh, these are just small channels. Ain't nothing to see here. It ain't that serious. Paris got teenagers listening to her, women in their early 20s. We don't know where these women are going to be. These women could be working at Walmart, or they could be in the penthouse suite. They could be working for ABC in 10 years. They could be working for CNN. They could be working at a bank. Meanwhile, in their youth, they were listening to Paris and Chrissy and Real Talk with Yanni. Why? Just because they're married to black men now, if that, just because they're LGBTQ. Oh yeah, we don't count that. They're not sexist, misandrous monsters. They're not anti-black man. Nope, nothing to see here, right? And Paris gets to continuously do these type of things, and nobody says anything. Her channel just continue to grow. She hide the most virulent anti-black man misandry on Patreon, right? And Namer says that's sociopathic, not okay. No, it's psychopathic, not sociopathic. Okay, okay, right. So fine. And Mr. Z still won't tell y'all not to stand up for even the worst of these people if something happened to them, because it's about the black body. And if we start playing respectability with black people being murdered by the state, regardless if it's black men's hands, black women's hands, white people's hands, Asians, Latino, if we start playing respectability, oh, look at what you said 5 years ago, we won't be protesting for no black person. If a black person get killed by some random vigilante, some random white person, and we don't stand up because of look at what you said 5, 10 years ago, 15 years ago on social media, no black people will be saying anything about another black person's death. We're raised in an anti-black system. Like I said earlier, if you don't have parents and family and a network that makes sure you don't adopt some of these messages from this society, you will have to climb yourself out of being anti-black yourself as a black person, right? And just because the way black women vocalize, right? The way black women often vocalize their anti-blackness is he hit me first. Half the time, first of all, not true. Black men are colorist. Black women aren't colorist. Because they couch it as responding to black men, they just get away with everything they say and do. It's not the same, right, Dr. Umar Johnson? It's not the same. If Dr. Umar Johnson expects us to sit in a black community with women like Paris Milan, no, you could have that player. You could have that. Elitist, asshole, misandrous women who are not only harming black men, but inadvertently harming black women. And Charles Faulkner Jr., 70% of the time, black women hit first. We could tell, look at their same-sex interracial domestic violence rate. Ooh, goddamn. We know. They keep on pretending like the numbers aren't the numbers. Everybody know what it is. Black men are so violent, yet black women in DV. And I don't even want to get too far into that. The moral of the story here is, because I got to close it out in a minute, you guys. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Paris Milan, everyone. Some 340,000 subscribers. Sexist, misandrous a-hole. I've been saying it all night. Let me say it. Asshole. Think it's cute to be petty. Just because she's not using profanity, I keep on letting her slide. Dancing on black men's grave. Sounding like the most virulent white racist person, using respectability, being an elitist asshole, right? Pretty much saying they're all guilty until proven innocent. If she says, don't march, don't protest for these people until they're vetted, unless they're an immediate relative, and you know they're not a colorist or whatever, excuse me, then what, excuse me, what is she saying? What is she saying? Is she not saying guilty until proven innocent? Like I said, just because they don't use those exact words doesn't mean that's not the message they're conveying. Right? So she engaged in y'all can't even die, right? She engaged in guilty until proven innocent, right? All of that. And thank you, Better You, for the super sticker. And this is a lot. See, Mr. Z speaks about the larger social, political, economic ramifications. Because this is bigger than Paris Milan. She has the ears of teenagers, right? And once again, thank you for the super sticker, Better You. Um, oh, Go Professor in here, right? Pause for the cause. You already know what I said. Every time Go Professor's in here, y'all remember Go Professor is the person that first advocated for me to start my own channel, or first suggested, better yet, that I started my own channel. Y'all said all y'all hate me out of Go Professor, right? And it's important that we make sure that these people don't continuously keep on being ignored. Like they're not that it's not that serious. what they're saying, what they're advocating for. Literally, the young lady literally said, don't march, don't protest for none of these men. Assume that they're guilty of being colorist until proven innocent, or unless their immediate family. Respectability, number one. Number two, guilty until proven innocent by a court of who? The Paris Milans of the world, right? And this is okay, right? It ain't that serious. She don't even have a larger societal macro understanding of any like the this is what atomization look like coming from black women. This is what neoliberal hyper capitalists look like coming from black women, right? This is get to the bag no matter what. Look, this is what it looked like coming from black women. And quite frankly, because she's married and she's married to a black man recently, this is what virtue signaling looks like when it coming from black women. Petty, mean, right? She told y'all she gonna make a switch eventually and start talking about lifestyle things. She told y'all that already. Y'all just gonna act like y'all didn't hear her? All right. So I'll truly pause right there, everyone. Y'all like, share, subscribe. And oh yeah, and she made sure to stress sharing her video. Y'all go ahead and share this. Wait, so other black women could start thinking like this about black men also? What's the goal here? Because Mr. Z says like speaks about what his goal is, so that we could stop pretending like people like Paris Malone don't exist. So we could have a more honest conversation about what's going on in the black community. It's not black men air quotes punching down. It's not black men and their insane misogyny towards black women. I speak about why I do this. Paris, what are you doing? Because Mr. Z doesn't say, even as crazy as Lawrence Smithfield was and Asia Maynard, and we already Coin Games was a little off. I saw what that was with Coin Games. I wasn't on social media like that. I wasn't producing content yet. But even in my personal life, I wasn't saying, "Hey, y'all don't go protest," because she was, she was a little extra. She was doing a little too. No, but it's about the black body, and I understand that. Paris, on the other hand, she wanted to play respect. Understand what Mr. Z is saying. A black woman want to play respectability politics with black people's lives in a white supremacist society. She wants you to play respectability when black people are murdered by the state or murdered by a non-black lover or murdered by she wants you to play respectability. Right? And yeah, Charles, I'm not even gonna post it up, but yeah, Charles, I understand, and that's exactly why I didn't say certain things, right? Was careful with that in my personal life. And even for some of the people that said some wayward things on social media, I backed out of that. Nope, nope, not touching that. But Paris and her subscribers get to dance on Kobe's grave, dance on Kevin's grave, dance on Toby's grave, dance on Stephen Clark's grave, dance on Kevin. Now they dancing on this brother grave, Tyree Nichols' grave. And that's okay because what, she's the voice of black women. She literally chastised one of her subscribers. Well, you must be new here because you saying, "Oh, retract." What she said? What the subscriber said? Something like retracting my support or removing my support. Oh, you must be new here. We don't support them until they're vetted. Something along those lines. She said. Y'all, if we start playing this game in the black community, where you got to be spotless before we march and advocate for you, and there's something to be said about the past. I certain things that happened during the civil rights that I'm not even going to mention here. Certain things that would have went another way or would have been another person that was the face of certain things. Some of y'all already know what Mr. Z is talking about, right? And they use somebody else to be the face of a certain thing because such and such. So the respectability been there. It can't be you, it got to be him, or it can't be you, it got to be her. If y'all know what I'm talking about. But y'all want to do this now in this late date? All right, just let it be known. You want to play respectability with black people's death. Okay. And on that note, all right, y'all. I'm gonna pause right there for real. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all, look, like I said, check. You know, I know y'all checking if y'all sons are watching porn a little too early, right? In their age, y'all check in to make sure your daughter ain't flirting with some dude at a super young age with her cell phone or whatever. She ain't out there um falling into any traps with any men preying on her, right, or anything like that. I know y'all doing that, but I would suggest y'all also check their social media accounts and see who they subscribe to. That's Mr. Z. Make sure to say no children. My thing is no children. I don't put things up for the kids. I make sure of that. Oh, Green Gorilla. Green Gorilla's in here, right? What's going on, Green Gorilla? Um, brother, yeah, I'm going over um a young lady who, how am I gonna say this? A young lady who's essentially dance. I say dancing on Tyree Nichols' grave um because supposedly he made colorist comments back when he was 21 years old on Twitter, right? And he said something along the lines of enjoying black women fighting because of their hair pieces or weave that be on the ground or something like that. And so this very famous content creator named Paris Milan is speaking about, she's insulting his pretty much excuse me, she's insulting him. She's pretty much saying this is why you need to vet the men before you protest for them and advocate for them. Um, and I guess vetting means going through their social media, making sure they never said anything negative ever, 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 ever about black women in general, or never made a supposed colorist comment, etc., etc. So this is one of those people that think it's not about the black body, right? That you have to be damn near perfect before we could say anything about how you were murdered at the hands of the state or murdered at the hands of a non-black person because of your race or anything of like that. Any injustice that befalls you, maybe we shouldn't speak up about it because you weren't perfect. Yeah, that part. So yeah, that's what I was speaking about. But I'm about to excuse me. I'm about to go end it on out, right? And y'all, if y'all want her video's already gonna do numbers. Y'all could check it out. I saved it so that she doesn't get to weasel away from this in the next couple years, right? Oh, the young lady's name is named Paris Milan, and Green Gorilla says, "Is she dark? What's with the colorism?" She's more like maybe a medium brown color, right? I'm gonna post her face after the video's done. It's gonna be on the thumbnail. It's actually on the previous video that I just did, right? And D Scott said, two on the plate. Thank you, D Scott. Thank you for the super chat. Right. And she's, Paris Milan is just another one of these women content creators with hundreds of thousands of subscribers that the brother FD signifiers tell us don't worry about. Stop paying attention to them. Right. Another person that has the ears of teenagers and young black women in their early 20s that we're told it's not that serious. Stop paying attention to them. They don't hold no weight. Yeah. And yes, I know she played tennis, and I know. And Detroit said Paris Milan is a failed tennis star, right? And she's just your standard elitist a-hole um black woman who claims they're advocating for other black women while they walk out the back door with all the rage porn content, all the money they make off of the rage porn content they create. She's one of those people, right? And Afro National says, "Salute, Mr. Z. Have to catch the replay." Look, man, like I said, I think this is dangerous. This is why I did not dance on any of the women's graves. I used it as a teaching moment. Hey, y'all be careful, y'all too loud. That was my video. That was literally my video about Asia Maynard. Y'all be careful, y'all too loud. That swirling divesting thing, y'all walking around with blowhorns talking about how horrible black men are and how they don't build, and y'all doing it in front of the whole world, including the white men. No, that's not what Paris is. Paris walks up to your grave and point at it and go, ha 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 ha, right? And she thinks how she's speaking is a cover for what she's really actually saying. Was black men, you weren't perfect at kissing black women's asses. You made a few wayward comments when you were young, and so we that gave us the right to dance on your grave. We wanted to do it anyway, right? But now we really could do it. And we're going to use what you said damn near 10 years ago as justification to do what we wanted to do anyway, right? And on that note, truly, I got things to do. All right, y'all. For real, for real. Love, peace, and chicken grease, right? And Mr. Z's. As a matter of fact, I do have a super chat from a previous video a little while ago that I need to read, but the comments haven't populated yet, so I'm gonna give it a second. Because somebody gave me a super chat last minute as I was closing out a couple of videos ago. But yeah. And I'll make that the last comment. And Afro National says, black men freeze black people, black women you ain't shit. Pretty much, right? And you could see the brother. He started to speak more and more pro black as he got older. You could see it on his social media, but she ain't. That doesn't mean anything, right? And Paris is hiding her anti-blackness behind. Look at these black men and their colorism. Okay, right. And I'll truly pause it right there. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content and other non-Manosphere content, so y'all don't sound like Paris Milan. Jesus Christ, right? And once again, this is what happens when women like Paris Milan go uncritiqued, when they get to slide with their sexism. And I'll end it out on that. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Mr. Z out.